bus stops, bike lanes, and adding shoulders, sidewalks, and then enhancing the crossings with different crossings and bulb outs. So we'll look to coordinate the two projects, as well as if there's any construction impacts, those will be commuted at that time and be appropriately planned. This one right now, the construction is still pending, but funding, but it's looking like that was going to happen more or less in fall 2029. I think the other one was also that I presented earlier was around 2029 timeframe. So with that, I am also going to cover a slide for maintenance. This is the winter prep slide. Caltrans does similar winter prep, just like the county does their winter prep. We prepare the state highway system. We look, today is such a great example, with all the rain that comes. We are preparing, we know the rain is coming. We look at all the ditch and drainage systems, the culverts, make sure they're clear, they can handle the capacity. If they need any maintenance, we're attending to it beforehand proactively, as well as inspecting throughout the rainy season. And also snow, we have different plow trucks that are being maintained and tuned up and ready to go if needed. Those plows can also be used to take the material off the road from slides, like we've got rocks sometimes that come on the roads and different debris. What we call that slide is the holiday slide. I don't know because that happened around the holiday season, and we still have the K-rail up there with the fencing just due to the concern of the debris that can still get on the road. So we try to be proactive as possible with all the different winter preparation meetings, as well as coordination with our local partners, and we're ready to go if there's an emergency. All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. To wrap this up, we're just going to quickly touch on some Caltrans specific resources. We just want to make sure that you're aware of. Just as a reminder, these are printed on the back of the Caltrans specific fact sheet in the back, so don't worry about taking pictures. And then the county has some of the resources also on theirs, so just grab some paperwork to come home with you, and it'll be very informational. So just in general for y'all's information on the resources, we have ways to contact our public information office. Today we have Celeste here in the back. She's our public information officer joining us tonight. And so we have the email, and you'll be able to contact her directly if you want to. I don't know if we have time to catch her. But anyway, real-time information available via Quick Maps is available both online or through various app stores to get the app for it. And then we have a Caltrans lane closure reporting system where you can look up a 7-day forecast of planned closures. Does not, of course, cover emergency projects. We're not planning for emergencies in that kind of way. That didn't come out right. In any case, there's also customer service request portal. This is for potholes and such, as well as our district websites and the RTC's board packets also have a list of projects that I have to update every month. So you can see updates on projects in construction or in development as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to, you've got social media too. I'll turn it back to Supervisor Martinez.
Thank you. Excellent. So thank you so much for that presentation. You guys are very busy. Sometimes we get jealous of your funding at Caltrans. I hear all the projects you're doing, but we're all in this together, right? So now is a good time again. Raise your hand or raise your card up if you have some. They're going to collect them. They've been texting them, so I have some questions up here. And also, I want to just have Brianna Goodman, please raise your hand in the back, from the Regional Transportation Commission, is a local SLB resident and also in charge of a lot of these pedestrian projects happening in the Felton and the Boulder Creek area, and is also seeking information tonight related to the Rural Highways Plan. The RTC is currently asking for input on the draft plan, and so I hope you'll take advantage of the opportunity to talk with her. She's here, she'll be here after the event as well. So with that, we're going to jump into our questions here. The first one, Unfortunately, yeah, you guys each have the microphones at each table, and I'll try to direct them to the appropriate place. This one is gonna be brief. Steve, you mentioned that we get funding from gas taxes. Is there revenue from electric vehicles for this? What is the plan to generate alternative funding as we go green?
That's a good question. Yeah, electric vehicles, the short answer is no, they do not pay at the pump. This is an issue with higher efficiency vehicles out there and electric vehicles. We find that the gas tax, our revenue's been pretty flat for a number of years now. With costs rising, flat revenues, that means way less work for us to be able to do out on the roads. And so it's being studied, it's a well-known issue throughout the country. It's something that needs to really be solved at the federal and the state level. This is where our gas taxes are implemented. And so there's been several states who have implemented pilot projects to really what the model we need to go to is most likely a VMT model, so a vehicle miles traveled, where each vehicle out there and the type and class of vehicle will pay a certain amount per mile traveled. It's being looked at. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of movement on this right now. And what we were advocating for strongly, because we see it at the local level, we see these flat revenues, and it's a big impact.
Thank you for that. The next question, I believe, is for Caltrans. With reference to the pedestrian safety program that's adding a sidewalk from Felton to the SLV campus, will there be crosswalks other than at the Felton intersection and in front of the school? How will kids safely cross from the northbound side of the road to the southbound sidewalk side of the road?
Okay. Hi, my name is Kathy. With that project, we're not making a lot of crossing improvements. So if there's a location in particular that you wanted us to look at for crossing improvements, we're just adding the sidewalk, continuous sidewalk, as well as making some retaining wall improvements to add the sidewalk and the curb. If you wanted a crossing improvement, in particular around the school, I'm happy to take that location. But that project is focused on adding the sidewalk and the bike lane area shoulder for the southbound direction.
Appreciate that response, and do just want to appreciate your efforts to build that sidewalk there by the school. That was in response to some really tragic accidents that happened in that area. It impacted our community, so just appreciate the sidewalk, and would love to talk more about potential crosswalks or crossing opportunities. So this one I'm going to direct to the county team. Can someone talk to me about the project going on Graham Hill? What is it? Whose project is it?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So that's actually the city water department. They're building a major pipeline project between their pump station down by Roaring Camp and pretty much all the way to their water treatment plant. It's their project. It's through an encroachment process. Their contractor Ranger Pipeline. They're doing a pretty good job managing traffic, I think. It's going to be ongoing for at least about another year to a year and a half. They've made substantial progress. We're tracking it because eventually, once they finish it up and resurface everything, we want it right back to the way it was again. So, yeah.
Thank you. So we have a couple cyclists in the room, it sounds like. So next couple questions are about cycling. How can bicycle safety be improved for those who want to commute from SLV or Scotts Valley to Santa Cruz? Could barriers be put up along the Mount Herman shoulder?
I'll respond to that one as well. So we did actually enhance the bike lane along Mount Herman Road in the last pavement resurfacing project we did a number of years ago, where we put in a buffer. There's no plan to put in a barrier. And I bike a lot too. I would love to be able to safely bike from the San Jose Valley down to work every day. There's not a lot of great ways to do it, admittedly. We're very constrained. Brown Hill Road's very constrained. Highway 9's very constrained. I will say we do have an active transportation plan that envisions biking around our county. It's a pretty recent plan. It was completed in 2022. You can find it on our website. It has recommended treatments for rural roadways, and really, without a lot of money infused to our rural roadways, we're not going to be able to get much more room out of them. But there's applications for putting sharrows and other types of things on our rural roadways. Admittedly, not a lot of options for commuting on bicycles around the valley. And I would just definitely watch yourself when you're riding bikes out on the county roadways up in the rural areas, because it can be very
with that, are projects that increase bike access as well as pedestrian access prioritized in any way? Projects that increase bike access or pedestrian access, are they prioritized in any way?
What I will say is we try to take advantage of when we do resurfacing in our rural roadways, we do try to take advantage of new striping applications. If we can take just a little bit of room away from the travelway, get a little bit more shoulder, we do that where we can and where we see that it's applicable. Not often in the rural roadways, you'll see a lot of those type of opportunities. We are doing a lot of work down in more urban areas, and so you'll see that on Soquel Drive. We just implemented 5.5 miles of buffer bike lane. We're going to continue that from State Park all the way down to Freedom. So most of that work is happening in the urban areas, and you're not going to see a lot out here in the rural areas.
I'm not sure if this is best for RTC or Caltrans. This is about Ben Lomond. Was a crosswalk approved for the intersection of Glen Arbor Road and Madrone Avenue and Newell Creek Road? If so, when might that project move forward?
So that's something I know about. I know I've worked with, I recognize several members in the audience here who are advocates for that. It's something we're looking at. It's something that's definitely recommended in our active transportation plan. Right now, there's no positive determination one way or another whether we're going to implement, but it's something we are looking at.
Thank you. As you all know, evacuation access is a critical concern. That's actually a sin. That's true. We'll just stop with that. Okay, right here. When major arteries are blocked, people move to smaller roads, but some of those are not in good shape. Are these alternate evacuation routes prioritized for emergency response reasons when evaluating and deciding which roads need maintenance? So it's like you've got the main plan A, but then everybody knows what plan B is if the main road is blocked. Is there prioritization for plan B as well?
I mean, I'll take a little bit of a run at it. I mean, the general answer is yes, but also that we're fairly constrained by our dollars to be able to do that, right? And so an example would be Glenwood Drive, right? That's an alternative route to Highway 17. We recognize that when we had those two sections of Glenwood Drive destroyed, they became top priorities for us because, I mean, Highway 17 carries tens of thousands of cars a day, right? We know what happens when 17 is closed. We've all seen it. When it comes to the smaller roads up in the valley, we all saw what happened with the holiday slide, right? And Highway 9 was closed, and Glen Arbor became Highway 9, right? Definitely, we started looking at the Glen Arbor going, okay, is this road just going to get completely trashed? And you're talking to Caltrans about it. It's a dual agency problem sometimes, right? When one agency's road closes and another has to be used. But again, we just don't have the funding available to us to go out and make improvements to these smaller roads. Typically, the detours are small in length and time, and they're only needed for like a day or two. For the ones that become longer term, I think that's a really good point, that we should be looking at that.
For Caltrans, what work is being done or planned for Route 236? It seems to always be in a state of disrepair.
What part of 236?
Hi, everybody. To my knowledge, at the moment, we just have the Scour project, and I am aware that, I think Steve alluded to this earlier, we had some emergency projects after the 2023 storms. I know that our asset management has a very specific system of how they approach and handling prioritization of road repairs. Beyond that, I don't have any upcoming projects in my purview, but that's not to say that things come up all the time, so.
So after, or during the 2023 storms, right, I think that our Caltrans maintenance team assessed a lot of the culverts on Highway 236, and we actually did a lot of improvement on those culverts along Highway 236. It was implemented, during 2023, 2024. So we did complete a lot of those. And if you actually drive on Highway 236 and you see any of these, white collar, because it's concrete along the roadway, those were our work. 236. And inside the basement as well.
Thank you. So this is a county question. Has the county been reimbursed by FEMA for any of the 2017 through 2023 damages? On Hopkins Gulch Road, CSA 51, we have a number of sites still awaiting funds for repair. Do you have any insight into when these funds might be available?
You know, that is an area that I don't have information on. That's run by another section of Public Works who handles our county service areas. And so I would ask the question maker to just give us a call, give our department a call. And again, I've got a card back there. You can call me. I'll put you in touch with the right person, or just call our general number and ask for the folks who manage the county service areas, and specifically say Hopkins Gulch, you know, CSA 51. I don't know the answer. From 2017, they might have got paid, but 23 probably not.
And we have received some FEMA funding for those damages, but maybe not that particular.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about the
Okay.
CSAs.
Great. All right. People drive too fast on my street. Same. What is involved in getting the speed limit reduced on my road? Does RTC or Caltrans want to speak to the speed reductions coming along Highway 9 in Ben Lomond?
Sure, I'll speak.
Oh, how do I?
Actually, I don't know, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, my. I don't know if this is gonna work well.
I don't want to hurt your guys' ears. We did a whole,
Okay, I'm gonna speak loudly. Can you hear me? Okay, we did a whole speed limit study. It's called, go ahead.
Sorry, do you want to switch spots?
Thoughts?
Because they're close to the speaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
should I move over?
Yeah.
Feedback.
we did an engineering and traffic survey for Highway 9, around 13 miles. And we evaluated that whole section from Felton all the way up to Boulder Creek, including Ben Lomond. And there's certain areas we are gonna reduce the speed limit. And Ben Lomond, it's gonna be reduced on the approaches around Glen Arbor, and all on the southbound direction to 25, as well as we're gonna be reducing, part of that section north of Felton, it's 35 to 30. And then we're also gonna be reducing, I believe, the speed limit on the approach to Boulder Creek. But all that's been finalized, and then we're working right now with our maintenance crews to do what we call a sign installation order, where we'll change out the signs. We got concurrence with CHP. We also coordinated with the local partners, the county of Santa Cruz, and we worked together to get the speed limit set appropriately in this corridor area. But yes, we are proposing a reduction in Ben Lomond, and that sort of matches what you currently have, like Felton is 25, Boulder Creek is 25, so that will be a reduction coming up in the near future.
Thank you for that. We're looking forward to that change. That was a result of a lot of community advocacy from folks who are hoping to see that each of the little downtown villages along Highway 9 have the same speed limit, so people just get accustomed to always slowing down when they go through the towns where we have a little more pedestrian activity happening. How is it decided what roads will be repaired next? How do I get my road into the list of upcoming repairs, and what is the best way to report a problem? That's for you.
So for county roads, we have, the best way to report a problem, there's several ways you can reach us. We have a dispatch number, it should be on some of the publication out there. You can call that during business hours, someone will always pick up, and if there's a problem with like a pothole, the pavement surface, drainage, a sign down, something like that, just let us know that way. On our website, if you get on our website, there is a general email that you can, if it's a longer type of thing that you want to report, write us a paragraph, let us know what's going on. If it's very specific, let us know exactly where it is, an address, a post mile, something like that. It was very helpful for our crews to go out and triage the site. If it's a longer conversation about my road hasn't been paved for 30 years, when are you guys going to get out here and pave it? I would just say, give me a call. And again, you can find me through the normal channels, or you can grab a card in the back. We can have a conversation about it. There's not one size fits all answer to this question.
Thank you. So we have about 5 minutes left and about 6 questions left, and they're really good questions, so we can get through them, you guys. Let's do it. All right. When Bear Creek closes, a sign is put up on Highway 9. Is there a way I can get a text notification when Bear Creek closes? Is it posted online?
It is posted online. One of the resources we have is our road closure list. That's really the single best source for road closures throughout the county. I think actually RTC hosts the 511, I don't know if you're on
Cruise
still there.
511.
Cruise 511, which is a great site because it encompasses all the Caltrans closures and other stuff in the area as well. It incorporates all of our stuff into that. But if you just want county roads, get on our road closure site. You can see very clearly whether that road's closed, whether it's partially closed, if there's traffic control going on. Is it construction related? Is it long term? Is it just for today? So that's my advice to you. Do it before you leave your house. Do it before you leave work to get home.
Great. Are there any resources available to help private roads and bridges repair after storm damage? Is there help from the state or the county?
So there are limited resources to support private road repairs under federally declared disaster conditions. So that's the biggest, and I say that with the caveat that if the federal administration doesn't change some of those rules. But during 23 and in 24, our office has been able to coordinate with private property owners to access the FEMA individual assistance funds to make repairs on private roads. But it does require that federal disaster declaration. There may be other resources that, like our Resource Conservation District accesses around grant opportunities for rural roads as well. But it's a challenge for sure.
Steve? When they finish the work on Graham Hill Road, will it be fully repaved? The current repaving is very bumpy.
Yes, we've all noted that too. The current paving is temporary, and they've been hand raking it. It's been very difficult for them to get the surface really smooth. The final product will be, they'll grind the entire thing out. They'll make a T-cut, it'll be deep. We'll get fresh pavement, they'll slurry over it. We'll get the center line and the bottom line straight back. I will say, they're only gonna redo the lane that they're affecting. So if it straddles the center line, we'll get both lanes out of it, but for the most part, they're in that one lane, right, the northbound lane. It'll be mostly redone, and we're gonna try to assure that it gets put back in a really nice, smooth way, because that was one of our best roads in the valley, actually, and now it's hard to drive on, so we all understand that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
You said you can cruise for half a lane. All right, I'm hearing about lots of great projects in Boulder Creek and Felton, but what about Ben Lomond? What work is being done in Ben Lomond, or when can we expect improvements in Ben Lomond?
We are.
So as Ian, Caltrans. So it's only one at a time. Thank you, appreciate your patience. So in terms of improvements that we're doing on the state highway, Ian has mentioned earlier, we did some of the paving project from the highway maintenance team that went through, I believe, last winter. And then we've got the focuses on the curb ramps that I think just finished last week.
Not done yet.
Not done yet?
But we poured back, right?
Okay, so we're almost quite there yet. In terms of larger projects in the works on Highway 9, I think there's no major capital project. However, that's a good plug for RTC's Rural Highway Safety Plan. The Rural Highway Safety Plan is evaluating concepts. When you have things in a plan, it's a lot easier to push forward into a project. So please do talk with Brianna and look at the Rural Highway Safety Plan, because that's the best way to get things moved into larger capital projects. That said, the Highway Maintenance Program does have the ability to pull projects in faster than the normal 4 to 6 years. So just because there's nothing necessarily set in this moment doesn't mean something's not coming down the road in the near future on that area. Anyone else like to? Okay, cool.
All right, this is for Dave Reed. Measure Q, it was passed by the voters last year. Can it be used for road work? I heard it might be possible to be used on culverts. I wanna know if that question was planted by town staff. I added that part.
So, yeah, Measure Q, if you haven't paid your property tax bill, you'll see that assessment. It's really for climate resilience, parks access, habitat preservation activities. We do envision that there may be some opportunities to use some of that money for targeted culvert or fish passage improvement opportunities where we see both a habitat and potentially road benefit to doing some work. So, you know, we're in the first year of implementing that, both with the county allocation and the grant program funding. So it will evolve over time, but I'm sure there'll be examples and opportunities where we can look at culverts that have unique opportunities from a habitat benefit standpoint to improve roads.
Thank you. And our last question, when driving on Glen Arbor this morning, I noticed a lot of flooding. How should I report this? Are there any plans to improve drainage along Glen Arbor?
No specific plans in the works, but if you see localized flooding, I would just again encourage you to call our dispatch. And that's exactly what we need. We need eyes and ears in the field. A lot of times it's just a clogged drain, right? And the crews can get out there and then clog it pretty quickly.
Great. Can we give our panelists a round of applause? And I also want to take a moment just to thank the team, my District 5 staff were amazing, as well as I hope that you have found this to be interesting and educational. I am a new supervisor and continuing to learn about how all of these different systems work together. I find myself elbowing out other supervisors when we sit on the RTC commission, trying to get funding for our districts, and trying to prioritize projects that are important here in the valley. And it's been incredibly helpful for me to have great partners while I do that job to represent all of you. And it's incredibly helpful to have constituents who are engaged and who care and let us know what's happening and help us help you to ensure that we get the resources that we deserve here in the valley. So thank you so much for being here. Please don't miss the opportunity to take resources with you. Those QR codes are really valuable on that resource sheet. There's so much good information out there. If your question wasn't answered today, I know I had to cut them off. Please contact our office. We will get you answers, okay? So this isn't the end of a conversation. Please stay in touch and we'll make sure we get you what you're looking for. Again, if you have a few minutes, please stay and find out how you can give feedback on the Rural Highways Safety Plan. That was an incredible document for me to review. It talks about where there's been accidents and injuries along the rural highways of Santa Cruz County, and then it proposes, you know, where do we invest to make our highways more safe. So it's really important for those of us who live here and who have families who live here. So please engage. And finally, just thank you so much. Please get home safe on this rainy night. I really appreciate all of you. Have a great evening.